Hello, Mayor Van Gordon, City Council, and Budget Committee members. My name is John Follett. I'm the Fire Admin Division Manager, and I appreciate the opportunity to present the FY23 proposed budget for fire. The mission for fire continues and always will be to serve our communities by preserving life, protecting property and the environment through prevention, education, medical services, rescue, and fire suppression services. The department serves not only the cities of Springfield and Eugene, but 8 contract districts within the boundaries of those 2 cities and mutual aid agreements, which encompass a total of 1,625 square miles, serving over 293,000 citizens. The range of services provided are fire suppression, EMS, fire marshal's office services, permits, and fire inspections, along with 4 special teams: hazmat, confined spaces, water rescue, and aircraft. A detailed look at our services. Let me back up one. A detailed look at our services. If we look at just emergency medical services, we have 7 ALS ambulances on the road each day for advanced life support. We have 3 BLS service ambulances on the road each day. Or basic life support. And then we also contract with a private ambulance company, Mid-Valley, who in FY21 responded to 1,745 911 calls for us. In FY21, the department responded to just under 30,000 calls, which represented about 72.6% of our call volume. Fire protection services, structure and brush fire response. We have 13 engines deployed each day, 5 aerial, 1 aircraft rescue. We also have 4 brush engines and 3 water tenders, which are staffed with duty personnel as needed. So those can be deployed as needed. In FY21, we had just under 1,400 calls for service, which represented about 3.4% of our overall call volume. And then non-fire services, specialized rescue and response. This is our special teams units: hazmat, technical rescue team, which is our confined space team, water rescue team, and airport rescue team. This also encompasses our false alarms and non-medical or non-fire calls. This accounted for a total of 24% of our overall call volume in FY21. Taking a look at the FY23 proposed budget, overall fire has a proposed budget of $21,700,524. You can see how the proposed expenditure is divided up, with personnel services representing about 75.9% of the overall expenditure, materials and supplies representing about 9.4%, the dispatch contract representing about 4.1% of overall expenditure, and indirect and internal services representing about 9.2%. Capital outlays projected to be a little bit lower than in past at 1.4%. In the graphic below down here, you can see how our proposed spending authority is broken down by each fund. And then we also do bill for services. So on the proposed resource pie chart, you can see in addition to the general fund and special revenue fund support and the levy support, the department does bill for services for ambulance transport, fire district contracts, and permits. Overall, Eugene Springfield Fire's total FY23 proposed budget is about $68 million. Springfield Fire and Life Safety accounts for about 31.8% of the overall budget. As far as staffing in FY23, we are adding 2 positions. One position is the fire inspector position, which falls under the fire marshal's office. This will help improve services through increased inspections. And then we're also refunding an EMS and fire instructor position in our training division. And this was a position that was part of a cost reduction strategy at the onset of the pandemic, where we reduced funding for that position for a few years to just constrain resources and help the department reduce spending. We're in a position now where that position is being added back, so that's why it shows as an additional FTE in FY23. Looking at our FY22 accomplishments, COVID continued to be a big response. Despite the reduction in COVID here in the last few weeks, we were very much operational in the beginning half of this year with the Delta variant and whatnot. Fire took lead in standing up the Emergency Operations Center. We've worked on with obtaining federal CARES dollars for PPE, decontamination equipment, vaccination rollout. Conflagrations. In FY22 last summer, we were deployed to 8 separate wildfires. We invoiced the Oregon State Fire Marshal's Office over $183,000 for Springfield's portion of those responses. The largest response was the Bootleg Fire, and Springfield's portion of that was $115,000. In FY22, we replaced our aging radio system with a new tri-band radio, which will help us operate in more urban, dense environments. We continue to work with the GEMT program with Oregon Health Authority. In FY22, the fee-for-service program is a GEMT program that's been in place since FY18, so we've continued with that. And then the GEMT, or the Oregon Health Authority, added a new program, the CCO, or the Coordinated Care Organization program, which will help bring in additional revenue for the Ambulance Transport Fund. Apparatus replacement, we were able to replace 1 fire engine and 1 ambulance. The process for both of these apparatus replacement was started in FY21, and the purchase or putting those on frontline service just happened here in FY22. So those, we consider those accomplishments this year. In looking at our FY23 initiatives and significant changes, Eugene Springfield Fire right now is deep in the middle of evaluating the consolidation process with Eugene Springfield. So the governance review began in February, and it will continue into the summer and into FY23, trying to identify areas of improvement and next steps. Oregon 22, or the World Athletic Championships, will be happening in July of 2022, and we're deep in the planning process for that to support that event. And then fire inspection resources. This was the addition of 1 FTE fire inspector, which will allow us to increase our inspections. As well, in the fire marshal's office, we're reclassing a deputy fire marshal 2 to a fire marshal position, which will give Springfield a fire marshal position in FY23. Looking at future considerations, FY24 through 27. As always, there's a plan for increased call volume. Call volume continues to increase with population growth and an aging population. Ambulance fund reserves, we continue to monitor the ambulance transport fund. We have additional revenue coming in with the new GEMT program. But as always, this has been a stress fund, and we'll continue to monitor that and watch the reserves as we move forward to see how that GEMT program impacts it fully. We continue to evaluate alternative service delivery models for our ambulance and EMS services, looking at potential new positions that we could add and different ways we can provide that service to the citizens of Springfield. Station remodels, there are several aging stations in the city of Springfield that we need to look at and plan for remodeling in the coming years. And then future growth planning for land acquisition and station placement. This coincides with the increasing call volume and population growth, and just planning for an expansion as Springfield grows into the future. With that, I'd like to thank you for your time. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to email us here at the department, and we will take care of that for you. Thank you so much.